Hey guys, welcome to Girl Power. My name is Abbey Hoskins and I'm here with Deja Sandoval today. Thank you to our sponsors, Tees Tees, June and Beyond, Kimbreed and Shelter Insurance, and Cavell. Let's jump right into our interview. Hi Deja, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. So for those who are meeting you for the first time, can you tell us a little bit about who you are and what your life looks like right now?
Oh, that's a big question, I feel like. I am Deja Sandoval. I am an art teacher here at Lebanon. I'm also an independent artist, which is what most people around town probably know me more for. I would probably say most people don't even know I am an art teacher. They probably just know me as the lady that paints the windows.
Yes, because you do boat towns too, right?
Yeah, a lot of the businesses downtown, Cornerstone and Jonesy's have also been some loyal clients over the years. Tanorama, a few places around. The Boba spot that's not here anymore, RIP, I love that place.
Yes,
Really
I did
miss them
too.
a lot. But yeah, it's been, I guess, like 3 years ago now that I started doing that. I was teaching like kids classes at the Art Guild and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
So you were
mostly.
busy.
Well, yes, yes, definitely.
And now you've got one kiddo and also one on the way, right?
Yeah, we're due with our baby girl. The end of June, supposedly.
She'll be here a little sooner.
Yeah, fingers crossed at a healthy earlier day than what they're telling me. But yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's exciting. Tell me a little bit about how you were raised. What did your childhood look like growing up?
Oh, that's kind of complex. It wasn't always the best, but I will say I had a huge family and support system, a little bit of everywhere. I traveled a lot as a kid. My grandpa was a flight attendant for American Airlines, so I got to
that's
fly
cool.
free. Yeah, it was awesome. And my dad's family was here in Missouri, and my mom's side is all in Florida. I'm from Miami. That's where I grew up. So lots of back and forth traveling and things like that throughout the U.S. My aunt, who I'm really close with, was kind of based here and there in the military. So over the summers, I would spend time with her in California, Ohio, places like that. Yeah, I have little sisters. I was the oldest. So I don't know. Yeah.
So what brought you to Lebanon?
My dad's family's here. So I was actually born in St. Louis. Most people don't know that. But we moved to Miami when I was like 4 or 5 or something like that. And I lived there until I was 19. Home was like a little stressful. You had a single mom, lots of kids, and she did the best she could with the tools she had. But, sometimes it's just like, sometimes you need more support. And so I came out here to be with my grandma, my dad's mom, and my grandpa, to kind of figure out what I wanted to do and how I wanted to go about life, I guess.
Right.
Which none of those things happened for many years after moving here, because that's how that works when you're 19.
So you moved here when you're 19? Yeah.
Yeah.
You still kind of think you know everything, but you're not sure.
Right. I had no idea. Well, and it's funny because when I said I was going to move here, I was like, I'm going to be here 6 months. And then I'll be 31 in August. So it's been like almost 12 years now that I've been here.
Right.
It took me a while to find like a space for myself in Lebanon. Also, like I had made friends and stuff, but I didn't feel quite like it was home yet for a few years. And then I had my son, and I ended up, I don't know, I just like wanted to do more with my life and find the focus and find what filled my cup, not just as like a person, but as a mom dually. And that's why I was like, I gotta go back to school. I want to start investing in my art again. I started doing the kids' art classes and stuff like that, painting the windows and things. And it all just kind of like the universe just kind of like placed things in a way that it all started to kind of land together and makes a little more sense. The puzzle pieces became a little more clear.
Right. That's very cool. So have you always been into art?
Oh yeah, I was a total art kid. I was such an art kid. So funny enough, I was actually just talking about this the other day with my little sister. I went to an after school program in the neighborhood that I grew up in that was funded by the United Way. And this rock is not coming out the way I wanted to, but it's okay. There's no right answers. You can paint a rock however you want your rock to be. So
I'm also stressing about mine, so
All is well. I usually paint on bigger scale.
Much bigger.
Yeah,
Yours
yeah.
fantastic.
Thank you. But yeah, I went to this it's a after school program that was ran by the United Way.
Mhm.
And the lady that ran it was this really sweet lady named Sylvia, and she was like super invested in like community arts and programs and things, and she was always finding ways to involve me in different community art projects. So I did a painting for this astronaut, and I'm so ashamed that I don't remember his name, but he's like one of the few African American astronauts who came from my neighborhood in South Florida, and they named a walkway after him. And I got to paint a painting and like be there when they did the ribbon cutting ceremony
That
for
is
it and give him the painting.
awesome.
Yeah, I was really little. I was like Ollie's age. I was like 7 maybe. I had like my art hanging up in the Miami Arts and the Miami Airport gallery. Yeah, I was always in like art club and stuff like that. I didn't take it super seriously until I got to high school.
Right.
And that's where I was, but it was more like for fun. It was like my hobby. I thought I was going to do sports medicine, and I got more like medically inclined at that age. I thought I was going to do like, I don't know, some sort of athletic training or something like that. But I took every art class I could. It was like my little escape. I would have my sketchbook, and I would just like wander around the apartment that we lived in. It was a huge apartment complex, not like anything that's here. Like they're like massive apartment complexes down there with like who knows how many units. And I would just find like staircases with a good view of like whatever parking lot or area I could find. I wanted to draw the trees or something, and I would just sit there and I would just draw on my sketchbook all the time after school, like a little loner or whatever. I don't know, but that was what I did a lot in high school.
Well, that's still neat, and that very much, plays into your life today. So, what were some unexpected struggles or like hardships you've had that have really transformed you into who you are today?
I'm not sure we have time on this podcast. That's so, I guess I wasn't, okay, to be so honest, I wasn't sure what kind of questions were going to be asked. And I didn't expect to go like deep divey, but I probably should have.
You don't want to.
No, yeah, that's okay. Well, it is like Mental Health Awareness Month, so I think this probably is a good time to just like briefly mention some things. But yeah, there's a few things. I've had lots of adversity and struggles and obstacles and all the things from, I don't know, from A to Z. But the biggest thing that transformed my life to where I am today would be the process of grieving. I've had to do that a lot. I've had a lot of grief, a lot of family loss, and I'm a suicide survivor, which means that I survived someone else's suicide, right? A lot of people don't know that. Is what that means. And it's actually his dad, my baby's father. I don't know, with him for about 4 years. We were engaged, and all the beautiful things of life and working on getting our, life figured out and all those things. And that we got engaged, let's see, April of 2021. And July of 2021, he passed away. And it was the worst thing that I've ever experienced. And I do not wish it on anyone else. But it taught me a lot about him, about myself, about several mental illnesses, about suicide prevention, about mental health in general. And it forced me to figure out, what I wanted out of life and how do I maintain joy after. Because that was the hard part. Because what no one tells you is that like it's so common to feel guilty after surviving things like that and not want to enjoy the good things in life. And I was almost resentful of the things that were, because it was like a little bit after he passed, like 6 months after, little things started happening, like little like positive good things started to line up. I was in school full time, and I was like making the dean's list every semester somehow. And like I had landed jobs I really wanted and all these art things I was trying to do.
Right.
And I was just so resentful at the universe, like for some reason, and it took me a while to figure out like how to accept that even though this sad, horrible thing happened, I am still here and he is still here and everyone we love is still here, and that I still have to be able to find joy, right? So, and then like my grandma passed not long after. She's the only family I had here, which was like terrible. And I had to like continue to figure out like, how do I find joy? Like when it just seems like I'm always in this space of grieving and just like processing trauma. You know, and especially when it's not like you're expecting someone to pass, or, you know, or something you can explain away, like a car accident. Like it wasn't those kind of things. So it was just really hard to come to terms with those things and still like validate, filling my cup.
Right. So
But I
how did you find joy in those hardships?
My kid.
Yeah.
My kid did it. And I know that's like so like easy to say, but I mean, I probably wouldn't have felt like I felt like I had to be so strong. And the things that I experienced as a kid that I won't go into were things that I had already promised I would never put my son through anyway. But what a lot of people don't know is like when you have experienced trauma on trauma on trauma and back to back to back, it changes your brain chemistry. It changes who you are as a person. And if you are already somebody who has been given less tools than other people, it's going to be extremely hard to figure out how to navigate life in a healthy way going further when you've already been, set back so much, right? And so it like gave me space to find forgiveness for things that I experienced that I shouldn't have, but it also gave me like the courage and confidence to be like, what kind of life do I want to provide my son? What kind of life do I want him to see me have also? Like not just for him, but for me, because if I'm living my life the happiest and fullest, that's even better, right? So that was a really big part of it, was figuring out, how do I show my kid like the best parts of life, and
after experiencing the crappiest parts yourself.
Yes, 100%.
It seems like you've done a good job so far, honestly.
It's a day by day thing. It's a year by year, day by day. Like it's, never ending learning. I feel like, especially like the last 2 years have been so crazy. I got married, which I never thought I was going to try to do that again. I never thought I was going to want to have another baby again. Like so many things that I never would have imagined my life. Like I was so like cut off from all of that because I was so hyper focused on like, let's get through school, let's like we have bills to pay and life to do, and like, single mom stuff. Like I was so not interested in that part of my life. And then it happened, and that's like a whole another line of happiness and joy that I had to also like accept, because I didn't want to for a little bit. My husband's so amazing. I love him so much.
So how did you meet him?
He's a Marine, and he got stationed here a few years ago on recruiting duty. And an old friend of mine and him, my friend's husband worked with him, right? And there's things I can't say on the air about how we met, because teacher, but we had so much fun on her birthday. We had so much fun on her birthday, and he happened to be there, and basically we met and we never separated. Like that's the only way I could describe. It's
just meant to be.
Like I met him, and I didn't pay him any attention that night either, because I was there for my friend's birthday, and I'm like, why would a boy be here? Right. Like this is a girl's night, right? But he was just so charming and sweet and gentlemanly, and
that's awesome.
We
now
never
you got your sweet girl on the way too, and that just goes to show too. You never just always be kind to people. Like if I saw you on the street, I wouldn't have known. You went through all of that. You never knew. You never know what people do go through.
100%. I live by trying not to impose my disposition on others. That specifically is something I have said for years and years and years and years. Like I try really hard, and I'm human, so we have bad days, but like you never know what people are carrying. You never know how close to the end somebody is, how thin their rope is right now. Like you just never know. And I don't like to live my life in a space where I am, everybody handles their grief differently and their traumas differently, but I don't like to live my life in a place where that is the sum of me,
Right.
because it's not. It's a part of me and it's a part of why I am who I am and where I am, but it's not who Deja is, you know? So I can't go around bitter and like angry, you know, and putting that on other people.
So how does everything you've gone to translate into how you teach your kids at school now too?
I think that's a really good question. So everyone's always like, high school, how do you deal with the teenagers? I could never, but I couldn't imagine teaching another grade. I just couldn't. Like, I love the high schoolers so much. I think that, for one, the things that I like to teach, just skill level wise, they're more likely to be capable of doing those things. Not that middle school couldn't,
Right.
but just at that level that I like to be at, I can do more with what I want to do. So there's that. But on the other side of it, I think there's like an emotional space that I have an understanding with students that I've had that happen before. I've had, kids that you can tell they struggle with the system, they struggle with authority, whatever it is they're struggling with. And I like my room to be a place where, like, none of that matters. Like, if you're here to create and just let your brain do cool stuff in my class with me, you're going to be fine. And that's how I like it to be. I don't, and if they want to bring whatever it is they're going through into their art, they have a space to do that in my class too, So, and I feel like it's almost unfair because, like, obviously, like, a math teacher can't do stuff like that, right? Like, some of those times, but that's why, like, it's important to have fine arts and other expressive outlets for kids, because it can't just be one thing. Like, we need people to be able to think creatively. We need people to have problem solving skills and creative thinking skills that don't come in a way that's traditional, right? Because then you would lose those kids that struggle with that other part of it that might excel here, right? Like, the creative part might be exactly where they need to be.
Yeah. I think you're exactly where you need to be too, and I think the community needs you.
That's so nice.
Well, no, I'm not just saying that.
Thanks. Like, that art teacher, she's got to go.
No, I think you're awesome.
Thank you.
So, what part of what you do feels most meaningful to you right now? Whether in motherhood or teaching your art or whatever.
Yeah, I can't imagine not doing any of it. The idea of, I have maternity leave, right? I'm taking off the first 8 weeks of the school year. And as excited as I am to be able to spend that time with my baby, I'm also, like, thinking, oh my gosh, my kids, my classroom, like, what's going to happen when I'm not there?
Right.
Like, how's it going to look? All of those things. So, and then I also was a little bummed because I was like, wow, I'm going to have to take such a big break from, like, my window art and stuff because I, like, physically can't do it. I love all of the things. I enjoy having many different places to fill my cup from and to fill other people's cups in that way. Like, I think all the things I do bring other people joy in some way or another. Usually, there might be a kid somewhere at LHS that's like, I'm not understandable, but
Forget her.
yeah, but for the most part, I think most of the things I do with the intent of hoping that someone is finding joy in it, or it's, bringing good to somebody somehow, some way. So yeah, that's probably how I would answer that. It's all good. I love it all. Anything that, like, impacts the local youth, especially our young artists, it encourages them and uplifts them. That's a huge part of it. Anything to do with my family, like, I'm gonna be super excited to do.
Right.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So what do you want the next 5 years of your life to look like? Or do you have any idea? You're just kind of going with the flow?
I'm just going with the flow.
Yeah.
When you have a husband in the military, I found that you kind of have to do that, right? So I'm mentally preparing for wherever life brings us, takes us. I'm excited in the space that we're at right now, and that like, it's so joyful. We've been celebrating so many things, like, or celebrating, living in love and growing our little families and trying to stay positive, throughout all the world things and stuff. And so, like, the next 5 years, I'm hoping to keep that going,
Yeah.
right? Like not letting life get anyone down as much as we can, you know, doing our best to, you know, stay, I don't know, just stay as, you can't just stay positive. Like I don't like that mindset of like it always has to be happy.
Right.
But like doing our best to like not let things get us down, you know? Doing our best to keep moving, keep growing, keep exploring. Like that's really what I want my next 5 years to look like, whatever that means. I'm not tied down to how it has to look like.
Right.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I like that. So I have one last question. I always like to end with this. What's one piece of advice you'd give to someone who's younger than you?
So on the note of like mental health awareness and suicide awareness, I remember when I was going through my own mental health challenges as a teenager. I have depression and anxiety disorders myself. I remember feeling like everything was so heavy and like I wasn't going to survive it and I didn't want to, and like I just was so overwhelmed, was so sad, you know, just being so sad and being so feeling so alone and helpless. And it's just kind of silly, but I saw a Tumblr post when I was like 14.
Right.
And it was this lady talking about how she felt the exact same way when she was a teenager and that she wanted to end it all, but then she was that day on her couch snuggled up with her kids and her husband, living a life that she had never thought that she would be able to have, and how grateful she was that she kept going every day. And that stuck with me at 14. And I was just thinking about that the other day. I was like, wow, I am that lady from Tumblr 16 years ago, right? Like, and I never ever stopped thinking about that. And when I experienced what I experienced, I always thought, I was like, man, if he could just have stayed one more day, just one more day, you know, like, then he would have been able to do this, this, and that. Or this show came out and he didn't get to see it because he would have loved this show, you know, whatever it was. Like, I always thought stuff like that. Like, I just wish he would have just stayed and hung out one more day. And to anybody, it's like, just stay another day. You know, you never know what tomorrow is going to give you. And tomorrow might be a crappy day. That's all right. Stay another day, you know? At the end of the day, what you experienced is something to be grateful for because you were able to experience it. It doesn't always feel that way, for sure. But like you'll look back at it later and feel like, wow, I'm really glad that I stayed that day, you know? So that'd be like a really big one. I also, for the kids, like when I think about maybe somebody go like my seniors are graduating right now. It's okay to not have it all figured out. And it is okay when a wrench gets thrown into your plans. Like that is going to happen. And I hate to ruin our charade that we have with the kids, but we don't know what we're doing.
No, 100%.
Yeah. Like your doctor Google stuff, okay? Like it's like we don't have all the answers either in our 30s and 40s. We are figuring this out too. And at 18, 17, 18, 19 years old, don't feel so overwhelmed with not knowing what you're doing or pressured with what you feel like you have to do, you know? Take it day by day, get yourself some kind of plan, but know that it's okay that that plan might not, you know, work out the way you thought it would, and just pivot. You got to be able to kind of move and be flexible with life and understand that that's just part of it.
Yeah, that's
and it's
solid.
okay.
I feel like even at 29, I still don't even know. Like, I'm still figuring it out on my own. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's fine. And that's just like what life is. Life is just like experiencing things and growing from it, and then figuring out how you go forward from there, you know? And there's good and bad with that. Then that's the beautiful part of it, right? Like it's okay. And then you have something to give to other people later, right? After you have done those pivots and moving around.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Very cool.
Ah.
Do you have anything else? Any other advice?
No, I'll yap forever if you let me. So.
No, I love it. I think it's been good. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for sitting down with me and painting some rocks.
I'm so glad I got to do this.
Yeah.
We won't talk about my nail, right? Like,
No, we
just
won't
cut
talk
that
about
out. Okay.
You're gonna edit a nail on.
Edit a nail onto my finger. I literally was thinking about that the other day. I was like, wow, it's too bad I can't get her to let me in this nail appointment on Sunday. That'd be nice. Have nice nails for my appointment. It's like a big part of my lore is like my nails. Pretty like no, I've had kids come up to me who I've never had as a student before in the wild. Like I was at Ulta in where was I? Ulta in Springfield, and some kid was like, "You're that art teacher from LHS, aren't you?" And I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Do you go to Lebanon?" She was like, "Yeah, you always have the nicest nails." And I was like,
that is so funny.
Thank you.
They are cute.
Huh?
You have all the aura.
Literally.
Apparently, yeah. With the nails, I've got the aura points.
Okay, so this has been another episode of Girl Power. Thanks for tuning in and listening to Deja's story.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Girl Power is sponsored by Covell, Flowers, Espresso, Bakery, and Gifts, Harry's Salon and Spa, Kim Breeden with Shelter Insurance, June and Beyond Women's Boutique, and Tees to Custom Apparel.